Well, now that your lovely co-host just almost had a fucking coronary over...
I did not.
Inferent.
Dude,
I said co-host.
I was calm. I was calmer than you are.
Yeah, no, you were yelling, but you were calm, and I was calmly speaking about to have a fucking aneurysm because I thought we were both seeing the first... I thought one of us had been gotten to. I thought we were both agreeing that the reality isn't
Agent
real.
Smiths had got to
that
us.
we are all one consciousness experiencing itself subjectively. There's no such thing as death. Life is only a dream, and we're the imagination of ourselves. Here's Tom with the weather. That's a Bill Hicks bit.
I
have to give credit where credit's
It's not that you're not creative and funny, but
I also
that's pretty good.
I also pay homage to the greats that came before.
Okay.
Fuck.
Well,
you think we can do this live? You think we can do this live without fucking running into goddamn
I don't know.
conundrums?
I mean, we've been getting better discussing beforehand, but I think we're going to wing this one.
Okay. Well, that's good.
All right.
I like winging it.
Don't when I makes it sound like we are reading from a
It's
script.
like we're family or something.
They're like,
fucking a
hey,
bunch
this
of
is totally
degenerates.
unrehearsed, but they say at the exact same time.
Weird.
No such thing as...
Nobody else in the human genome uses as a fucking segue into anything else. That's number one, by the way. I'm counting, Grandma.
They're sitting there saying there's no such thing as WMD podcast and a coincidence.
And there certainly isn't a website I can look up on the interwebs to find it. But
right. David, what grinds your gears this week?
Well, I can tell you what's grinding my gears. Krispy Kreme donuts and the fact that it hasn't melted in my mouth in about 1,000 years. Because I care about my portly hips.
I believe you swore off Krispy Kreme right about the time you found out that one donut had about an acre's worth of sugar cane in it.
Well, it's like it only makes sense. I was like, these donuts feel like they melt in your mouth. Kind of like cotton candy. Holy shit. They're onto something. And then it's like, you put it in your mouth, you take 2 bites, like, where'd it go?
David,
it's in my arteries. Good. I feel so cozy now. I'm warm from the inside, not the outside.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you like yourself some Krispy Kreme. This is quite a little advertisement.
Again, don't get me wrong. There's things that I'd love to put in my mouth that I refuse to put in my mouth.
Graphic.
Take that however you want. Krispy Kreme's is one of the many things on that list. And I choose not to because I like to keep my girlish figure for most of the time.
Why'd you just assume your figure's gender?
Well, why would you assume that it didn't have a gender, Dane? I feel that's genderphobic to not assume. My body identifies as a woman, but I identify as a man.
I'm so filled with lack of assumption that I couldn't possibly have assumed
I'm
any
so
less.
accepting of all the other things that are acceptable that I can't be any more accepting. I accept everything that is acceptable.
Okay.
And rebuke all the rebukable.
All right, if I'm following the line of logic here, David misses Krispy Kremes, but he really likes them because he likes to stay in shape.
It was a part of the news this week because they came out with a philanthropic idea saying that, like, if you bring in your vaccination cards, you can get a free Krispy Kreme donut.
Oh.
For the entirety of the rest of this year. Newsflash, fuckfaces. If you know anything about Krispy Kreme, that was number 2, by the way. You know that if you go in there and you look like a child and with big old doe eyes, when they're making some new batches, they'll just hand you one. Free of charge. Just hand you one because you're a general member of the population that they want to uptake your cholesterol levels. Just for being you, just for about to buy in some different flavors of donuts, dog nuts, as I like to call them, and throwing them down your gullet.
Again, you sound pretty saucy.
Well,
still
still
listening for the bad news.
I thought the vaccine was supposed to make you healthy. I thought it was supposed to keep you from death. Meanwhile, they're handing you a little chunk of liquefied, because it liquefies in your mouth, liquefied cardiac arrest.
Or I mean, all right, so here's where I'm at with it. You know, everybody, you walk up to 10 people, you'd be like, you know what's a real shame about American culture is instead of like, working to have good health, eat healthy, exercise, all that kind of stuff. Wouldn't it be nice if I could just take a pill and lose 50 pounds? Wouldn't it be nice if I could just take a pill and that would fix it?
You know how many times,
right?
When I worked in a health food store or a health shop, somebody came in and said, breathing heavily, where are the weight loss pills? It's like, well, they're over here. They're like, so this will make me lose weight? I was like, well, yes, with diet and exercise and general amounts of care, yes, you'll lose weight. But I want to lose 50 pounds. It's like, meanwhile, they're sitting out there with like their child holding a bag of, Wendy's or Popeyes or whatever assorted fast food they just picked up. I was like, well, really, I can't recommend this product without diet and exercise. They're like, bye. I'm like,
did your boss ever get mad at you for like not making sales?
I can't lie to people. I'm not going to say, listen, person, you probably shouldn't take this because it's going to uptake your heart rate. And I don't know if you can handle that right now. Maybe do that a little bit.
We've established why I have to do the marketing for the podcast because David's clearly not a salesman.
I don't take it or leave it. I don't give a shit.
That's not much of
I'm
an
not
insult.
here to sell you. That's exactly what you're here to do. I'm not here to sell anybody.
You're a halfway decent person.
I can't in all good conscience give you this and say it's going to lose weight.
Well, I mean, listen, like I said, you ask most people, they're going to be like, hey, don't you think that that's a problem? We should probably fix that. We should make the culture want to, work for stuff and not just wait on a pill. And isn't that exactly what it is? It's like, a majority of people who die from COVID are overweight, right?
Says the CDC.
So according to the according straight from on high at the cathedral, headquarters, the CDC says being overweight is going to make your COVID experience a lot worse and probably higher risk of dying. And we say, but pop the proverbial pill, right? Get vaccine, and we're just going to come in and give you a free one of the main contributors to the problem that's killing people with COVID.
All these kids with childhood diabetes, take your insulin shot, little Jimmy, and I'll give you the 64 ounce of Coca-Cola. It'll go great with your inevitable amputation of your foot. But never mind you that now. You're getting the sweet, sweet reward for your being healthy. And taking care of yourself.
It's a sad state of affairs. Commentary on American society. But you know what?
We just want better for you guys.
We can only do what we can do.
You should use your left hand to eat more vegetables.
All right, Rick, you ready? Or Morty. You ready to jump in?
Oh, let's dive.
All right, jumping in. Weapons of Mean Destruction Podcast, episode 36, can be found at wmdpodcast.com/36. You can also find it on every podcast catcher, YouTube. Definitely come over to that website and join the email list. Today, David, busy week in America, busy week in the world.
Was it?
Bro, we don't even have time to talk about the Suez Canal blockage, and that's probably...
We didn't even discuss the fact that Biden
took too long on pre-roll.
Week.
I know. We were nice, right?
We're good people. I trip all the time. I'm not going to hate on his recovery was decent. It wasn't great.
Listen, we're not teasing that we're not going to talk about it.
We never checked his 40 time.
Run out of time.
We never checked his 40 time, but I'm pretty sure he's not a professional athlete at any point in his career.
Probably not.
Okay.
Now, when we're talking about a world event that's stifling global trade to the tune of about, what is it, like $9 billion a day or something? Like, bro, that's a massive screw up,
I watched gas prices go up like a whole $1.25. I was like,
it's like,
was everything okay? And then people are like, didn't you hear about the canal? I was like, I saw some memes about it, but I hadn't really paid attention.
It's like, there's a meme going around about it. It's like a satellite view of it. And it's like, you might have messed up today, but it can't be seen from space.
Well, I like the Austin Powers meme. You remember in the first one where he's like doing that backup thing and then moving forward and then backup thing? They just generated the image of the Greenway ship on it. So he looks at there. Shifting back and forth with all the spray.
We got to get Carlos to put that in the video.
We'll have to do that.
On the YouTube channel, so by the way,
We're on YouTube
when
too.
you go to
You can't go anywhere without us. We're at McDonald's. We're a number 7 special
when you do
with
hop
extra
up,
cream.
when you do hop over to YouTube to see David's little thing, Carlos, we're putting a lot of pressure on you, big guy. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit the bell so you get notifications when
Smash
we do
that
drop
subscribe button
and hit that like button and comment.
Sure. Only nice comments. Don't be an asshole.
Let's get to the real show 10 minutes in.
Okay.
All right. So the first news item that beat out Captain Evergreen over in the Suez was the shooting in Boulder, Colorado.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know.
You couldn't ease us into this from like yuck, shooting. God damn. We need to work on our segues.
Sorry, sometimes you just got to rip the Band-Aid off.
Apparently.
So as we can imagine, if you've been an American alive and not under a rock in the last 10 to 20 years,
if you've been an American, that's such a weird sentence. You've ever been an American, you're kind of getting a good read on where the narrative goes when situations like this happen. First thing that comes out, white guy. That explains it. He's going into custody and he's not dead because he's a white guy. That's the narrative. Exactly. Clearly
Go
racism.
to it. You see a picture, you see lighter skin, you say white guy, you get mad, you get frustrated. But then the guy's name comes out. David, do you remember what his name was?
Asim.
We're not going to say it.
Because
we're really not going to give him credit.
I was going to quote a movie. It was Asim Naga not gonna work here anymore. I can tell you that much. Office Space. Nothing.
All right. Well, again, Carlos, you have your marching orders.
Save our jobs.
Anyway, his name hits the headlines, and now it's like, well, if you read the census, he technically is white. Really? You mean to tell me if there happened to be a murder victim who had his name, you would probably say that he was a victim of white supremacy, would you not?
Hold on. I can hold it. I can blow your... Everyone, memes, strap a helmet to your head because I might blow your minds. There's Asian people with British accents. That's some crazy shit to see. Guess what? There's white believers in Islam. Believe that shit.
Well,
there's...
I see your point, yeah.
A fanny for every seat.
Right.
Okay.
But the point they would make, or the point that they're making, technically the census says he's white. Yeah?
Well,
would that be your narrative if instead of the shooter, he were a victim? Would this not be an incidence of white supremacy?
Oh, super duper.
Right. So what I'm saying is we're not really buying your backpedal on this one. A funny thing happened on Twitter, which we commented on. So get over to Twitter and check our retweets out. The niece of Kamala Harris, Mina Harris, came right out the gates. As soon as the picture of the guy went, she had this whole thing about, white guy. Of course, he went into custody. This is blah, blah, blah. White, played up. Then his name comes out. She retracts her tweet and says, I'm sorry. That's not what I really meant. I was just going on an assumption and the fact that most mass shootings happen by white people. Oh, okay. So too long didn't read I'm a racist. I saw something bad happen in society and I just made an initial reaction about the race of that
mass shooting?
person.
More than 2 people? What's the definition?
Something like that.
Well, I think the numbers are crazy.
And anyway, I mean, but the point is, like, the narrative broke down immediately. Right. Mina Harris, at least had the where we're going to give her credit where it's due. She at least openly admitted, while everybody else is backtracking about, well, on the census, he would be right. Okay, whatever.
That's doubling down.
Yeah, exactly. But then, you get into the nitty gritty of everything and you look at the next portion of the narrative, right? If we had gun control, this wouldn't happen. But you look at the gun laws on the books in Colorado and specifically there in Boulder,
as they possibly could be. They're like they're the left's wet dream of gun control.
If they could have a wish list of everything they want in their federal gun regulation bills, it would basically be Colorado and Boulder.
Right.
And but they have a reply. They have a reply, Mr. David.
There's a slippery slope.
Here's the reply. about 10 days. So Boulder had a specific ban on assault weapons for the municipality of Boulder, right? They had a law on the books. The NRA challenged it. And 10 days before this shooting, a judge overruled the constitutionality, said Boulder, at that local municipal level, you can't make ordinances like this, repealed the assault weapons ban. 10 days later, the guy kills people in Boulder with an assault weapon.
Did he procure said weapon within that 10-day window?
Yes.
Fuck.
Yes.
That's
not
severely hurts my case.
Not looking good for us, is it now,
No,
David?
it's looking like crapola. We're gonna need a silver bullet in this.
Well, let's examine the premise of what they're trying to argue there and say, well, is this just a correlation causality situation? You might say, well, Dane, that sounds like special pleading. I say, well, does it? Because it relies on the argument that
if you're like me, you wouldn't have said that at all. You'd have said, Dane, I feel like you're hedging your bets. But if you're, you went to law school or you're on L1 through L3, that's exactly what you'd say. But for us laymen, you're like, what the fuck did that even mean? That's number 3, by the way.
Well,
go for it.
Yeah.
Your moral platitudes. You want to go back into it?
No, yes, I am. I'm here.
Take the legal.
You can try to take me off the tracks
Take the
all you want.
Take the legalese out of it. Can you just
back.
pull it back to normal people's talk for like 2 seconds?
Yes.
Thank you.
What I'm saying is if I accuse them of making a correlation causality argument, I'll say, okay, well, if the premise of your argument is that laws being on the book stops this kind of thing, right?
Sure.
If the judge never overturned
it's
still in effect, then he doesn't get a gun, right? And have a shooting?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so should we examine all of the other jurisdictions that have similar bans, like Chicago, New Orleans, New York?
Don't do that, Dan.
New York City.
Don't do that.
Should we examine their gun laws relative to the number of gun crimes,
Don't do
people
that, Dane.
that die at the hand of a gun?
Or definitely don't look up the staggering statistic of how many gun crimes are committed with unregistered guns. Because
wait a minute, David. Are you telling me that criminals don't follow the law?
What? Wait, isn't that... Hold on. Carry the 2. Provide for the remainder. Yeah, I feel
this is a mind-blowing revelation.
I feel like criminals might have an abject feeling for the law and might borderline just disregard it completely.
So, does that mean that our coincidence causality argument about their point about the Boulder law mean that it holds no water? Not necessarily. No. So let's examine another. How about I give a counter to their correlation causality argument?
Go for it.
They say he got an assault weapon within 10 days after that was repealed and then killed people with an assault weapon. I say a young, disgruntled Syrian immigrant just killed a bunch of American citizens when the United States just bombed his homeland about a month ago and has been doing so for 6 years, roughly.
Well, with a relative lax for the last 4 years.
Am I saying that the bombing by the Biden administration of Syria, not only a moment ago, you're true, it was further than 10 days ago, but it was about not much more than a month. Am I supposed to say that there's not some connection between those two events? If I'm supposed to believe that a court case, he was diligently following it and goes, yep, I'm going to go buy one. I can do it now. Court said I can, and then I'm going to go kill people.
Dane.
Or did he say, American regime keeps bombing my homeland. I want to take some Americans out.
Come on. It's sleepy Joe Biden. He's just like your uncle, all right? You sit on his lap and he falls asleep 5 minutes later. It's like... He's not going to do anything, callous or malicious to anybody else. He's the understanding guy. He's lost a wife. He's lost a kid. He understands what it's like to have loss. He wouldn't just go willy-nilly bomb a country for no goddamn reason other than to make profits. He wouldn't do that. He's a good guy.
You know what another thing that he would never assume?
What would he never do that?
He would never assume that criminals don't follow the gun laws because he has nobody within his immediate circle that's ever been a criminal and broken gun laws.
I'm waiting for the big old butt because I like him.
Oh, yes. So the third and final point about the narrative and respecting of gun laws or lack thereof. I mean, if Biden has any qualms about whether or not criminals will follow law, he ought to ask Hunter.
I've never heard of that person ever. It's not like I heard about him for 6 goddamn months with his little laptop and his little shady dealings over in the Ukraine for a power source that he's been getting $500,000 every month to be a. I'd never heard of this.
David,
can you please enlighten me more about Hunter?
It gets more specificer to the point.
Should we hunt out some of the details here, Dane?
I think we should.
Okay.
So
be very, very quiet.
So Hunter,
I'm looking for bad things that happened.
As I'm sure more of the astute political observers are aware.
Dane, did they cancel him yet?
No, he's not canceled.
Thank Christ.
You can still follow, retweet, and give a big virtual high five to Hunter Biden. Pretty sure.
Not Hunter. I was more concerned with Elmer Fudd.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, so yes, a few years ago, Hunter Biden, as the criminal that he is, repeated, didn't just do criminal things at random. He did felony criminal things that are specifically prohibited by the ATF from passing a background check. And so he lied on that federal gun regulation form to get a gun.
It's not going to be that funny, but you remember that little black kid that was like, "Why'd you steal a car when you're 6 years old?" He's like, "I'm a hood rat and I like to do hood rat things." That's
yes,
exactly
but
what you
reminded. Are we going to have
me.
the same Genesis problem where we can't find the thing to put it in the YouTube video? That's why you can't make these references that we can't find the video.
I'm going to find it right now.
Okay.
You keep chatting and shitting about Hunter.
Okay.
You keep hunting out Hunter. It's Huntsman.
So Hunter gets kicked out of the Navy Reserves for doing blow. Seems to be a running theme for Hunter. And then 5 years later, he lies on a federal ATF background check form when he's going to purchase a gun. He gets found out. Nice. Got it. And so yeah, Hunter's a federal felon for
So he
lying to buy a gun.
Really.
So I mean, Joe, just ask your inner circle if criminals are going to follow the law.
It's like they want us to behave under the things that they don't want to behave under. It's almost like they hold themselves to a different standard.
It's almost like they wrote the rules to exempt themselves from them.
It's like they're never even really held accountable for anything that they do.
I know. Haven't you heard something that maybe it was a Schoolhouse Rock or something sometime in your life?
I'm just a bill sitting on Capitol Hill.
The government is our servants. Have you? I swear I've heard that places before.
It's like one of those things where it's like, eat your vegetables, take your vitamins, pray at night, and you'll become whatever you want to be, Billy. Like, Billy was never going to be an astronaut. He's eating his boogers. No astronaut has ever eaten a booger. I guarantee you that. Astronauts might have forced some kids to eat boogers and then excelled at doing other things after that.
The jock, real American boy kind of
smart jock guy that, always persevered, not the guy that was alone in a corner.
Gotta keep up those stereotypes. Anyway, I think that wraps up our commentary on Boulder. David, do we have a sponsor for this episode?
I don't think we do. Hold on, let me check my backlog.
Any would-be sponsors were terrified away by the last commercial.
I'm going through my Rolodex. For you kids that don't know what a Rolodex is, it's like this thing that you use.
Someday we'll have cameras and you'll be able to see all of David's theatrics.
Do you like sugar? Do you like sweets? Well, that's perfect. Get a vaccine that you feel questionable about at best and apprehensive at most. Shot into your arm, and for the small price of cardiac arrest, you'll get a sweet donut every Monday on the Monday, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Then it repeats. So you just bring in that card that said you did what you didn't want to.
Just keep bringing in that card that you totally can't photocopy and forge 1,000 different times.
And definitely don't look at our policy where we just hand out these donuts willy-nilly to any passerby or Tom, Dick, and Harry that might just wander in haplessly into our store, that we just feel so enthralled to be making these donuts o' death. And bring in your card and we'll give you a donut that we would have done anyway. There's your incentive. Krispy Kreme. Creamy and crispy, and we don't do either of them.
You know, I'm kind of sorry I broke up the flow of that commercial, but
No, I needed you.
Okay.
You're like some lessons are hard, and you might die of a heart attack. Consult your doctor
You're
before
right.
using
We
Krispy
were
Kreme
up
donuts.
front. We were up front. We're high moral character salesmen.
Some side effects might be that your mate might not find you attractive anymore.
All right, David. Well, the reason why I wanted to start with the harder topic first, so we can end on a light note at the end.
Harder topic. Yeah. You end on this is the cigarette after the coital engagement that we just performed.
Pretty much. That's one was a little more labor intensive.
You know what? You get a vaccine, Marlboro will give you a free pack of smokes to take another couple of days off your life with. Maybe a whole carton, maybe a whole 20 pack of 20 packs. Feel stressed out about. Oh shit! Here's a second commercial. Feel stressed out about COVID? Get a shot in your arm, and we'll give you fucking black lung. How about that, Marlboro Man? For kids.
Oh god, I would never, ever, ever advertise on this podcast.
But they would.
I would never. They probably would.
They like to do things that kill.
I like these guys.
They like to do things that kill their clients.
Okay, we're gonna get on to the second topic.
Why not?
Okay. Last topic of the episode today: the Putin challenge.
Ooh, that sounds like a TikTok.
It's gonna be
TikTok
beefy, right?
gold mine. Is what it.
So not as much, not as data intensive here. Just some kind of back and forth. So as you know, or
Can I take a guess?
if you didn't,
Can I take a guess?
wait, you don't know what this is?
No.
Oh my god! How? See, I think I'm educating
I'm wide-eyed, bushy-tailed.
Okay.
Can I take a guess?
What? Yes.
It's like a challenge where you wrestle a bear, take a shot of vodka, sit in a sauna, get in an argument with a woman named Olga, and go ice bathing.
Yeah.
All in one day.
Yeah.
Is that the Putin challenge?
And not necessarily in that order.
Well, you just have to accomplish them all in one day.
Yeah.
24 hours and go.
Yep. That's the Putin challenge.
The Pootie challenge.
No. As hilarious as that is, and how that is probably where we should take the rest of this episode, I'm gonna go with the real news event. So at least I want people to at least get some sort of brain stimulating.
I come up with all these ideas, and you just
use out of this podcast. Okay. Anyway, what the real Putin challenge is. Earlier this week, Putin does make a public statement where he challenges Biden to a broadcast over the internet, live
arm wrestle,
stream
arm wrestle
discussion.
That's fucking stupid. It should have been an arm wrestle. I feel like he would have had more of a pull.
No.
I'll show your horse face.
He specifically made the point that it was to be live. There wasn't to be any breaks or anything like that, and their discussion was to be for the whole world to see. Now, obviously, the political right in the United States hitches on this about we're not respected in the world, and the political left comes back with, oh no, Biden's such a tough guy. Dictators just don't like him, and that's why Putin's doing that, and you're siding with the Russians, and yada yada yada. Here we go. And I'm over here just saying, what if it's just a smart strategic play? You're talking to the leader of the most powerful country in the world, and you're saying, hey, most powerful leader of the most powerful country in the world, let's just have a discussion for the whole world to see. I'm going to talk about what's in the best interest of my country. You're going to talk about what's in the best interest of your country, and we're just going to talk it out. Because at the end of the day, we're each representatives of our people, right? The people that put us in office, even if they cheated over in Russia or the US, either way, the people put us here and we have a mandate from them. So we're really just the mouthpiece for the people. So in that situation, how could anybody object on either side of that to having an outside of, backroom closed door deal making in front of all of their constituents to see? That just sounds like good government, right? Aren't they our servants?
Okay, let's call a spade here. Okay, so Pootie Tang, as I lovingly call him, he was in
He's gonna
charge.
get a different name every time you say it, isn't he?
He's putting it in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Was their equivalent of president during G-dubs, during Obama, both terms G-dubs.
Well,
terms
there was
of
somebody
Biden.
in between one of his terms. I forget what the guy's name is, but
And then, miraculously he
came back. Yeah,
he just went away.
but without getting too much into the nitty. Yeah, he's a bad dude. You don't have to take his side.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah,
he's been quote unquote president for the most part through Bush, Obama, Trump, and now he picks Biden to call out. The dude that's got the track record on the mic of stuttering Stanley. He's finally calling out Biden. I think that's a show of weakness for Pootie Tang.
yeah.
Because if he really felt big dick swinging, no offense to anybody listening, he would have called out Obama, a great orator.
Right, and that's
somebody that looks really good.
Right, that's a very fair read.
Right.
But what has the left done in the United States? And this is going to go back to how dividing us up into teams like this. And if we play on the teams, this is why we hurt ourselves more than we hurt anybody else. So what has the narrative from the left been about Trump when Trump has undertaken that mentality? Right? They've always called him a bully. Mm-hmm. They've said that him doing it is showing a sign of weakness. All of this stuff, right?
Sure.
So they've built up into one half of the American mind, so to speak.
Yeah, he's not to be trifled with. He's a bully. He bullies back. He's this, that, and the other.
Biden can't be bullied by a bully.
Uh-huh.
Right? Because he defeated Trump.
Well,
right?
Here comes somebody that doesn't have to play.
Right? Now those people have to make the argument that he doesn't have to engage with bullies because it's beneath him. And he doesn't have to talk openly about what his plans are. Remember the whole kerfuffle with his campaign? Like even people that were for him were like, Mr. President-elect or whatever, you have all of these very specific plans for the economy, for, foreign policy, for this. Can you tell us what they are? And he's like, well, after the inauguration, I'll tell you. He did it on several issues throughout his whole campaign. He specifically openly and blatantly refused to answer questions about where his policy was going to go.
Almost like he's a figurehead.
Or like he didn't know what the policies were at all.
Or have any interest in finding out what they were. Or
that he doesn't have any input.
Are we making any assumptions on whether or not President Biden is our president? No.
We're saying he's completely valid, duly elected. You win that side of the argument. Next point.
I don't want to bring it up because I don't want to get canceled. I know you keep thinking that we're going to get canceled because of my dick jokes.
No, we're probably just going to get drone striked.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I feel like that's worse if I can put my vote in. I feel like I can come back from a cancellation. Like, they knocked off my podcast, but I started another one. They didn't even see it coming. They haven't even heard about it yet. It's called
Change My Name and Wore a Mustache.
Between Two Willows. It's great. We just talk about saplings and such. But it's pretty hard to come back from a no-knock raid that ends up with a couple of shots fired. Anywho, I think Biden should take it. I think he should take the debate and treat it ridiculous because, there's going to be no winning with Biden. Even if he does go there and can keep it together for the entirety of the debate. Let's just call it that. That it's never going to reach the Russians, and they're not going to go, holy shit, America might be onto something with this anti-communism and all that stuff. And what's going to happen with us? We're never going to see Putin as like, you know what? He's got some good ideas. We should really install like a dictator or something like that in. Not that we don't already have it, but, we should really make it affirmative. Like, we should have our
dictators work with their dictators.
Right.
Have our people call
figure
their
out
people.
what their program is because they're doing so well. Like, what's to be gained? My whole point is what's to be gained. It's like he should have just said, Biden should have just come back and been like, I challenge your dog face, pony liar face to a fucking arm wrestling competition or a Greco-oiled Roman wrestling competition. Like, just be outlandish. If you're going to be that dude that we all think is senile, be senile. Like, I don't even know what the fuck your name is, buddy, but you're coming into my house and it's Hell in a Cell this Sunday. Chair match, winner take all.
I'm struggling for the conclusion to what you're...
There's no conclusion. What's to be concluded about this? Like, Putin offers a debate?
My conclusion is if that the two halves of the country literally at each other's throats because their parties are telling them to be.
We were trying to bring it back to... I was focusing
No,
more
I was
on the
wondering if
debate.
you had a different one.
No, I was thinking that the debate was farcical. So, like, why? If you want to be America, make it more farcical. Like, you throw some like monster trucks in there.
You're
and, like,
engaging in strategy for how the Biden administration could have responded.
for how America should have responded. Sure.
Okay. Yes.
Sure.
Yeah. Point I'm trying to make
Some
is
topless chicks dancing around.
Isn't it ironic that the very argument
Fireworks.
that Biden's supporters have been making to support him in the presidential election.
Mm-hmm.
Now the opposite of those arguments need to be true to justify not doing the stream. I don't care what his response is. The fact that he had none and did nothing at all, right, goes completely against the logic that they built up.
They'd argue that was a point of strength because
that they built up of him not caving to bullies because they're saying he's arguing from a position of strength.
But
so
now,
what are they implicitly admitting
But now what
here?
they're saying, no, they'll turn it around. Go ahead.
I know.
Go for it.
But not only that
Am I
similarity.
reading it? Am I reading too far ahead in this book?
Not only that similarity.
Okay.
But what was their biggest objection about Trump supporters in the first place?
Is that they were all racists, kind of?
Well, that they were all sycophants. That basically Trump could do no wrong. He was their saint. He was infallible. Right?
Yeah.
And that's exactly how they're treating Biden. If Trump would have cowered from a
He
challenge
didn't really
like
trip.
that, if Trump would have cowered,
He's about to step on a snail that
from
you didn't
Putin's
see, but he
challenge,
saved its
what
life.
would they have said about Trump versus what they're saying about Biden?
I understand that. I understand.
Well, that's what. So we always keep coming back to the same point. They're the same people.
But
they're the same people.
And I'd argue that we are locked in this epic battle that we're never going to finish. This is the only war that will never be won. They're always going to move the goalpost. We're always going to hold them to that goalpost. They're like, that was never the goalpost. Go check your facts. And like, here's the facts that you try to cover up. But I went on DuckDuckGo and we found it because it wasn't buried.
Here's
like,
the CDC article that
says
it.
Well, it's a good thing you shut down the gyms and the restaurants and all the places. But, heaven forbid we get healthier and like actually give a shit about our health. For our safety, because you care so much about it.
Look at you wrapping it back up with the pre-show.
Well, it's only been
almost like you know stuff.
It's only been 36 episodes. Eventually, we'll catch on.
So
does that
pretty much cover it for you?
I just want to know where I could possibly find this thing if I ever wanted to listen back to it again.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, David.
Thanks, Dave.
Because sometimes even I forget. WMDpodcast.com/36 is where you can find this episode. There will be show notes there, comment section. Get in there, mix it up with us. But also come to that website to join the email list. You can also find us on every podcast catcher, YouTube. And we want to throw a shout out to our video guy, Carlos.
Well, if you like the way
Plaza's
that
Drums.
the videos look and you like the way it's segmented, it's Carlos Plaza Drums. On YouTube, subscribe, smash. He's going to teach you a lot about drums. He's a great
Find
drummer.
him on other social media as well, Instagram, stuff like that.
And if you like the way that it sounds, it's Podsworth. And the main man is Chris Williams. And the dude does a super job even putting up with our shenanigans and tomfoolery each and every week. And we can't thank him enough for it. And thank you, Carlos, as well.
Well, you just feel just love and harmony today,
I'm
aren't
feeling a
you?
little fuzzy. I don't know. It must be about like I'm just anticipating the eventual arm wrestle that those two are going to have.
I thought you were just prepping yourself mentally for the first Biden challenge you thought it was.
Oh, I wanted it to be. You mean the Putin challenge?
Yeah.
Like
Is that what I say?
You said Biden challenge.
Yeah, the Putin
what would
challenge?
the Biden challenge be? Don't nap for 12 hours in a rocking chair.
Make it up these 10 steps without stumbling once.
Don't knit 3 sweaters this week.
Remember the faces of the reporters you're supposed to call on at the press conference and not have to use a cheat sheet.
Hey, Jimbo. Making up random ass names. Hey, Tom Tom.
Don't tell people
My name's
of a
Rich.
certain racial group that they aren't members of that group if they don't vote for you.
You ain't black. I don't think that's a racial group there, Joe.
I think that's it. We just created the Biden challenge.
The Biden challenge. Don't knit. Don't sleep in a recliner for 12 hours. And don't
Make it up a
misrepresent.
set of 10 steps. without stumbling. We could just listen back to it later. Why are we trying to rehash it?
I don't know.
We're going to screw it up.
We can just keep adding to
Anyway,
it.
come over to the website.
Don't
check
call
out episode 36.
anybody a dog-faced pony liar, which I don't know what the fuck that means. Number 5, I'm out.